in Surah 1874 and 80, we have the story of Khidir. And I'll just read that out briefly. So it says... Kejam.
Yes.
So it says, so they joined on till when they met a young boy, he slew him. Moses said, what hast thou slain an innocent person without his having slain anyone? Surely thou hast done a hideous thing. So we clearly see Moses was in shock. And then it says, and as for the youth, his parents were believers, and we feared lest on growing up he should involve them into trouble through rebellion and disbelief. Now when we look at the tafsir of Al-Tabari,
Yeah.
he says, actually, let me go to the tafsir of Al-Jalalain, so it'll take me 1 second to find it, because in Al-Jalalain, if you want me to find it, I'll just
It's your time, it's up to you.
And
do what you want.
So basically in Al-Jalalain, he says the boy was a young boy who had not even reached puberty. So now if Hashim has a problem with God killing children, we have to look at his own Islamic literature, which says a prophet killed a young boy who had not even reached puberty. And in the tafsir, it says he slits his throat and smashes his head against the rock.
No problem
now, if you want me to read the tafsir of Al-Jalalain, I will. And
yes,
if
please.
You
provide evidence. That's the important thing.
I will go to the tafsir. Okay, so it says in the tafsir of Al-Jalalain, so they set off after leaving the ship, making their way on foot until when they met a boy who had not yet reached puberty, playing with other boys, amongst whom his face was the fairest. And he, Al-Khidir, slew him by slitting his throat with a knife whilst he lay down, or by tearing off his head with his hand, or by smashing his head against a wall, all which are different opinions. Coordinating of blah 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 is used here because it indicates the slaying took place after the encounter. So basically there's difference in opinions of how he was
It's
slew,
finished, yeah? It's finished his time?
3 different ways he was
finished his
slew
time, right?
are
So
very atrocious.
Come on, be fair, man.
So my question would be to Hashim, why would a young boy, why would it be right to rip off the head of a young boy and smash it against the rock?
Okay, first and foremost, the surah doesn't say rip off, cutting off the head, neither does it say it was a pre-pubescent boy. You started my time? Yeah. None of that is in the surah. Now you have to find where did Jalalain get that from. It could be from Israelite, and basically sources which are unfounded. And this happens many times in tafsirs. They do mention things from the Israelite sources, yes, which cannot be substantiated. So even if it was the case, this is the important difference between mass massacre of children and killing one boy. It says gulamun in the surah. A gulamun can be a young boy, yes. It says the difference is this. There are 2 things which are distinguishing factors in this. Yes. So in the case of the Khidir killing the boy, it was a punishment carried out on future generations for the crimes of the for the crime of the forefathers. So the Khidir incident involved the guilty party. That means this is what he was going to do in the future. Why did Khidir know this? Because God told him so. It is like someone having foreknowledge about Hitler. Yes. And you kill only Hitler. Yes. When he's a boy. Because of the divine knowledge that you have got, that this particular boy is going to commit atrocities in the future or some crime in the future, to avert that particular crime in the future, God has given special knowledge to Khidir, obviously not about the entire community like it does in Numbers 31 and in 1 Samuel 15. It's not one boy or one girl, it is the entire population. In fact, it says in Numbers 31, 17, 18, in Numbers 31, the number of people that were saved, the number of virgin girls that were saved was 32,000. So these were the virgins. How did they know they were virgins in the first place? Yes? How did they know? You know, most likely by the age, because they used to get married at a very young age. So they would know by that. Now, in the case of Khidir, like I said, it was a selective punishment. It wasn't something that was on the whole community. Secondly, what is the issue that I have is this, that in the Old Testament, also in the New Testament, I gave Matthew 15, 3 and 4. Again, anyone who curses the mother or father shall be put to death. So it is not something only in the Old Testament, it is also mentioned in the New Testament. Again, children are involved. So if a child curses his mother or father, they should be put to death. And Jesus says this is a command of God. Yes? That was very quick, 3 minutes. Okay. And then it goes on to say, that this reason that was given in the Old Testament about the killing of these children and the women and men was what? It was vengeance. It wasn't because they were going to do something wrong in the future. That wasn't there. The reason mentioned in these verses was vengeance. The reason is already given. So the contention is the reason and the punishment en masse. Yes? Thank you.